And we go to the main event of the evening. This match might still be going on, as far as I know, because I, again, didn't make it all the way to the end. For the TV title, Darby Allin against Sammy Guevara. Another babyface versus babyface match for no good reason. So therefore, nothing important will be accomplished here, but the crowd will be lively since they like both guys and they're pulling for their favorite, which of course means that by design, the brain trust in charge of this fiasco has basically set it up so that half the people in the crowd will be cheering against one of your top baby faces. That's good psychology. Let's see if we can get as many people to cheer against and root against our baby faces as possible. That way our heels could be more popular. What the fuck? But both these guys can work some, and it would be a good match if any of them, either one of them, had any restraint. But they don't. And the total weight of both of these competitors doesn't top 330 pounds. I myself, just me alone, I have weighed in my lifetime 50 pounds less myself than both these guys together weigh right now. But yet you can't hurt either one of these motherfuckers by running over them with a truck. These are the phoniest matches. Sammy Guevara gave Darby Allin some kind of bump on the top turnbuckle. Did you see that early in the match?
Yeah.
Where he bounced off the buckle straight to the floor. What a count-out angle. Every booker in the history of wrestling would have loved to be able to find somebody that could take that bump, because there's a fucking count-out angle and call a fucking ambulance. And when Darby Allin comes back in 3 or 4 weeks, that's going to be a hot match. He's going to get even. But he took the bump and he was back in the ring working in less than 15 seconds. 2 baby faces, but they're doing moves to try to hospitalize each other, even though neither one has cheated or fucked the other one around or stabbed him in the back. They're not wrestling. They're trying to end the other guy's career with these ridiculous moves. So that doesn't make any sense. Sammy Guevara gave Darby Allin a backflip flying power slam off the top rope and got a 2 count. And then they started working a figure 4 leg lock. And then this was potentially one of the smoothest things I've ever seen. It had split-second timing. It was perfect in every way, including both guys landing as safely as you could possibly land in this situation. Sammy's on the floor. Darby goes for a fucking dive between the second and third rope. Goes for the dive, and Sammy catches him out there with a cutter straight to the fucking floor face first. Perfect. They couldn't have taken it any better. It looked like $1 million. What happened? Sammy didn't immediately pick him up and throw him in the ring to try to win. Sammy didn't roll back in the ring and let Darby get counted out so he would win. Sammy picks Darby up and puts him on the apron of the ring where nobody can win, climbs to the top rope, and flips off the top with a flying cannonball senton, whatever, onto Darby on the apron. But Darby moves and Sammy hits as hard as he fucking possibly can on the apron and bounces off for real onto the floor. And Darby Allin is now back on his feet, throwing Sammy Guevara back in the ring. He just took the fucking flying cutter onto a fucking hard floor face first from a dive out of the ring. He laid there for 10 seconds. Sammy doesn't try to win the match, puts the dead body of his opponent on the apron so that he can risk his own life to do something to this guy that will neither win him the match nor gain him any satisfaction, since Darby Allin has not in any way stabbed him in the back, cheated him, lied to him, or committed a blood feud offense against him. Sammy just wants to risk his own life and safety and potentially hospitalize and maim the other guy just to have a good sporting wrestling match. None of this makes a lick of sense. So anyway, first, Darby could have been counted out or beaten. Sammy didn't do either. Sammy tries to do something else, misses, nearly kills himself for real. Darby Allin is 100% healthy and throws Sammy back in, and the match continues. As the match continues, Sting, who's at ringside watching all this shit, and Andre Olio and Jose get in a fight on the floor, and Sammy and Darby are continuing the match, and I said, fuck it, I'm done. There was 3 minutes left. I don't care. This was abominable. And I quit right there, and I'm done. What'd I miss?
You missed Sammy won. Andrade was involved.
What did he use, a bazooka or a flamethrower?
That's a good question. I turned away from the screen, so I missed it, but... No, you're right, and the cutter spot looked incredible. And when he but when Darby moved and he hit the apron, I mean, any apron bump makes me cringe, but that one especially. It's like, yes! Oh my God. But, Sammy's matches, that's the one big detriment always. It's just always big move, big move, big move. Lots of high up flips to the floor and crashing through shit. Everyone kicks out of everything.
And, here's the sad thing about it.
It's more of a Sammy issue, I think, than a Darby issue, actually, if I think of their matches previously.
No, Sammy always goes too far. Darby has had good matches. Logical matches, sensible matches. Sammy can work, Sammy can talk, Sammy can't fucking restrain himself. Sammy will be paralyzed before too long, and Sammy will not have a long career as a result of it. But it's so sad, and I will leave us with this. It's been a long show. In years gone by, every booker in every territory, if there had been guys that would willingly take the bumps that these guys take on TV every week, not only would they do it, they would be willing to do it, but they could do it without hurting themselves. They would have all been in demand because bookers from other territories would have brought the guy in from Georgia that did the fucking splash off the top to the floor to the concrete for a hospitalization angle. Or they would have brought the other guy in from another territory that takes the cutter on the floor face first for a hospitalization angle. Or like when there was a guy in the Northeast, a job guy back in the 60s, that could legitimately separate his own shoulder, take it out of the socket on purpose, and put it back in. And what happened? George the Animal Steel found out about him. George the Animal Steel was using the chicken wing in Detroit as his finish, and they brought the fucking guy to Detroit TV, and George Steele used the chicken wing and popped the guy's shoulder out on TV. And everybody, oh God! And that was probably the most money in one night that guy ever made in wrestling, because that was his talent. So some of these guys would have been in demand because nobody in the business would willingly, or even if they were asked to, take these bumps. Everybody would have shot that down. We said, fuck you, I quit. But if they'd have had guys that could take these bumps, they could have brought them in and used them to do jobs for these other people and made those other people big fucking stars, because look at the damage they did to these fucking idiots. So they would have had a place in the wrestling business. But now all they're doing is making it harder for everybody else that has any talent and wants to do it right, because they're conditioning the people that nothing hurts anyone. It's all fake. Take nothing seriously. Don't wince. Don't worry. They're going to get right back up. And even though it really is dangerous and it really is painful, instead of, my God, this is the exact opposite of the idea of working. Instead of taking something that looks dangerous and making it safer for the participants, they go the other direction. And They make people believe that even the really dangerous shit ain't going to hurt anybody. So they devalue the wrestling business every time they get in the ring and do this shit. That's my thoughts.
Well, that was AEW Dynamite.